$300,000 just last year.
Oh, this week we added 300,000 to that. So I crossed the million mark on raising capital.
Okay. All right. So Joseph tonight is going to help everybody. So who has a mortgage? Anybody paying down on a house right now?
We're going to learn about how to
Actually, you tell them.
Yeah, we're going to create world peace tonight, folks. We're going to solve world hunger. It's all happening tonight in the other room. We're going to learn how to become financially free, economically independent, more attractive. Let me tell you, the moment I started having a lot of money in the bank, my wife found me way more attractive. Guys. No, I'm serious. Velocity banking, quite simply put, it's a way to transfer really expensive interest into very inexpensive interest without having to get an extra job, work overtime, or having to cut back on expenses. Does this look like the belly of a man who's on a beans and rice diet? No. Lots of banking. It's awesome. All right. So who would sign up for my velocity banking training?
All right, we got quite a few actually.
I got room for 12. There's only room for 12. 12 individuals who will go where no one has gone.
You'll get to do that next week.
Oh, yeah. This is fun. Right. Come on, Velocity Banking folks, let's go.
Okay. We got...
Thank you.
Okay, next, we're going to bring up Mrs. Pamela McCants, and she's going to talk to us about the Real Estate Foundation. So everybody say hi, Pam.
Hi, Pam.
Pamela, what are you guys going to be doing over there in the other room?
That's part of our second program. Get down to the foundations of real estate and what you're doing. You want to get into real estate, how to find the money, how to get your financial foundation set so that you can move forward in the real estate.
Perfect. Who knows that they're going to camp tonight? Okay. All right. All you guys follow Pam over. So the new office 205. That's where it is. You guys will be in the front room there at the conference tables. Awesome. Yep, it's all online. Cool. All right, good stuff. The rest of you guys get to have fun here. And so they are going to do all the work. So that's like where you have to go to work and take notes and study, and that's, you know, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Were you going to hang out for this, or are you going to Velocity Banking?
What is like your friend, the one supposed to present?
You're there.
Like he's already.
I'll follow you in a second over there.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So the rest of you get to listen to John McCants. This is the guy that's helped me out. So I wanted to do real estate. I needed to solve my problem. My problem was I had no money, I had no career, I have no way of actually achieving what I want to achieve in my life. And we talk about money, making a lot of money, but is it about the money? No. All money does is amplifies who you are. Who has a charity that they'd love to drop a $10,000 check to?
Yes.
Who would love to take their family on a month-long excursion across Europe? Does that cost money? And how come none of us can do that?
We don't have that money.
Right. But why not? That's why I ask myself, why? Why not me?
Why not?
There's no difference between me and all those other people. I can do that. I want that for my family. I want to drop those huge checks to charity. I'm a little selfish. I want that good feeling that says I just got my name on a plaque because I just helped a whole bunch of homeless children. That's what I want.
Yes.
So real estate is just the vehicle to get there. That's it. And I found this group of people who hold me accountable, who stick with me through the long run, and man, it's changed my life. And John McCants was one of the first guys I ever met. He's been doing this for 28 years. There's nobody better to bring this to you today than him, and part of hundreds and hundreds. But this is just a guy who has wealth of knowledge, but he also comes to the table with integrity. He comes with just the mindset that, hey, yes, do I live in a 4-story, multi-million-dollar mansion? Yes, I do. But I wear flip-flops, and I'm a guy. And I just talk to you as a normal person Hang out. So it's guys like that that like to, it hasn't gotten to his head and he's still a good guy, truly to the core of his heart. So give it up for
Now you're going to learn a lot from this guy. It's amazing. He is our mentor, John McCants. Okay, so please
If you guys want to
keep
move up,
following the
you
channel.
can.
It's
You can hear
awesome.
me. You're fine where you're at. Either way. So I'm John McCants. My wife and I have come down here from Phoenix. We've committed for the next 3 months or more to come and help grow this real estate community. I've been a real estate investor for 28 years, and I'm not going to waste your time tonight. I'm not talking about some real stuff. I'm going to talk to you about some opportunity, right? Because we're here finally to make some money. Who wants to make more money? Who wants to get into real estate? Who wants to stop paying taxes? Who doesn't know why they're here, but they're just here and they hope that there's cake and something afterwards. But maybe, who likes their job? I mean, really loves their job. Who doesn't?
Oh, now raise your hand.
Okay, so all of these things could be part of what we're talking about tonight. But I'm just going to seriously tell you from my heart what changed my life and why I'm here. And I'd like to find out from you guys why you're here. Okay, what we're doing is we're looking for you guys. We're looking for people that want to come in and play ball and get into business and make something happen. Okay, and we're going to talk about what's happening today for most people in America. Do you think people in America today are doing really well financially?
No, not at all.
Or not so well financially?
Not so well.
Okay, so when I look at that, this is how I look at it. Where am I today, in my mind, compared to where I wanted to be 10 years ago when I thought about it today? Do you think I'm as far as I wanted to get? Maybe I'm further than I should have gotten, I don't know. But I think most people are back here. It's like, you know what? It's where I wanted to be. Somehow, some way, so I'll talk about what I think is happening with the country, in my opinion. These are just my opinions. I'm just an average guy. I'm a real estate investor. I'm not a designer salesperson, but I'm up here showing you guys what's going on. And you're looking for us. Whether you know it or not, you're here because you're looking for an opportunity. You're looking at possibly investing the money you do have, or you're possibly getting make more money, and or be around people where you've got a group. People look at us because they want to find a great place to hang out. They want to have some friends. They want to make some money, and they don't want to make mistakes. They want to take very little risk and make some money. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
So let me just give you some highlights as to what's going on. This is where you're at within this group. Well, actually, what you're looking at there, this company is around the nation, building groups like this intentionally. Who knows, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Dan Merrill Flip That House, all the TV type stuff, I went to one of those 28 years ago, liked it so much, quit my job and haven't had a job since. I've worked harder on me than I've would have worked in my job, because this now, as an entrepreneur, definitely the payback I got went to my back pocket, and my time off, it didn't go to the bosses, right? And I didn't like being an insurance agent. I went to that class, sat there for 5 days and said, wow, I've been watching this on TV, reading books, and here they are telling me, and so where did I have to go back on that next Monday?
Work.
My job.
Yeah.
And I wore a suit and a tie. I was an insurance agent. And I didn't know when I left the house that day that I was actually going to quit my job. I was just going back to work. Because I left my house, I got in the car, put in my motivational tape and all that kind of stuff. And they were tapes, cassette tapes. I don't know if you guys know what those are.
8 tracks.
Lucky that there wasn't a few years earlier because they were 8-track tapes. They were just, but it was cassette tape. And I listened out on the way down there, and I got in the elevator. I could see my cubicle back there, but I waited too long because somehow God was saying, "No, don't go do it." And the door closed, and I had a religious moment. Hair in my arm, got sweat. Wow, what's going on? Why didn't I go to my job? Someone needed the elevator. I went back down, and the end of that story, and it takes a little time because it was kind of impactful. But I quit my job that day, and they walked me to my car at noon with all my stuff, and I drove off and spent the rest of the day wasting my time fishing, golf, and goofing off because I didn't get home from work until 5:30 or 6 o'clock at night. So it would be cool. Why are you home, honey? I quit my job. I'm a real estate investor now. You just had 5 days of class. So what that is there is a group of people around the country that want to be here in Utah where the information that we share, because there isn't information, there is education. We're not going to buy it. We're just going to show you how it works. We're going to show you some of the impacts of something with it, and then we'll show you the impacts feeling of doing something with it. We don't want a decision from you. We want you just to take a look at it. What we want you to do is say, you know what, that's an interesting group. I want to come back next week. I want to go down there and listen to some banking. Joseph will show you how to find money, how to save money, how to get out of debt, to learn something. Fair enough? So we're intentionally around the country building communities where the gurus come in and just, what's your style? They come in, they wave the magic wand, they do the 5-day training, and they leave. And then you got coaching, you got an online presence. We've looked at it differently. This company says, you know what we want to do is give you the information the way we learned it online, okay, and then do some live stuff locally. But we're going to come and give you this information, and you build a community. You build a group, mastermind people doing these deals, working together, finding money, finding profits, finding buyers, and generating income, saving taxes, doing and learning this stuff. Okay? And so what happens when the gurus come into town, and it happened to me, they said, after the 5 days is over, they say, go out and find the local group. And so I went out and found what's called REITs, Real Estate Association of Puget Sound. I lived in Seattle at the time. Here it's called ASREA. What's in Tucson, guys?
Azria.
ASREA down here is what they're paid. And so you have to go find the group. Well, we're going to do it differently. We're creating the group. ASREA is great. REITs was great. But to me, it was just a sell-a-thon of more information. But behind the scenes in other rooms and talk shop. But the ASREA stuff or REIT stuff was basically selling us more information. You want to go to the next level, you want to buy this person's stuff. And after a while, it gets a little bit, it wears on you because you just constantly sold. So we'll let the cat out of the bag. We have information to offer too. But we don't want a decision from it. We want to talk about it. If it makes sense, let's talk about what you're doing today versus what you might want to be doing tomorrow, weeks from now, months and years from now. Does that make sense? Okay. So here's where we're at within our schedule, is that we just started last week our essentials. We're just kicking off here in Tucson. Quite a few people here. We're growing, bringing the people together. A lot of students that we haven't collaborated together by this. That's what makes the power, the people working together. And so we have orientation, the masterminds break out here. We'll slowly and surely get fix and flip, multifamily. No, short-term rentals, Airbnb, the night of the rentals is probably one of the most popular ways to do real estate rental right now in the country. Because you can rent in a week a house for the cost of what you could probably rent the whole thing on a monthly basis. Some weekends up in Phoenix now when certain things happen, you can rent it for a weekend when a golf tournament, a race happens, a sporting event, and that weekend could be the equivalent of what it would rent for by the month if you did it on a long-term lease. It's big, it's huge. And so what it does is qualifies more houses for us to buy because we can figure out how much income comes from. And people that have money around, we all have people with money around us, whether you know it or not, they get attracted to ways they can put their money to work at a higher rate of return. And if you learn the skill, would you attract money? Very much. And so these are the things that we're doing, and then on weekends we have tours, we have full-day workshops. And where Pam just went was with the Essentials group. And so these are the classes that they go through as they learn how to do things, how to keep their money, how to save their money, how to get the phone ringing, how to understand what to watch out for, red flags, how to be creative with it. But if you don't get yourself set up correctly and learn how to get your banking straight before, understand how to work debt, what's going to happen if you start getting into debt and you don't know how to work debt? Velocity banking helps us how to get out, how to save taxes. Joseph or one of them said how to direct IRAs into buying real estate. Most people don't know that you can buy a house and put it in your retirement account. Okay? And then understanding your own credit. It's very important. So that's what's going on right now. They're right here. Okay, so I'm going to put up a word, opportunity. It's a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something. Okay? That makes sense, opportunity? Okay? I got a couple notes here. I'm not going to go to the whiteboard right now. I kind of can't. It's behind here. I'm just going to let it go. But opportunity, what does that mean to people? What word would you use for opportunity? What, chance? Chance? Okay. Roulette? Either black or white or red or red, whatever. Good chance, okay? Anybody else have a word? What's opportunity? Front row. Something new, okay? Reps? Okay, some words that it might mean: advancement, a plan. Okay. Intention, you have opportunity, you have intention to make it happen. Hey, if that's an opportunity to go, you don't know how to ski, my intention would be to learn how to ski, right? Well, actually, when I did it, I learned my intention was to get my legs stronger so I could handle skiing. jumping up and down on the curb and jumping up and over boxes so that you could get good at it, you know, and stuff. But what we want to do is feed our opportunity. But on the other side of this, I'm just not going to go to the whiteboard today, is another word that I like to use, and I want to be real with it, because where we're at today compared to where we want to be tomorrow, it's like I got up here talk about all the opportunity in the world, show you hundreds of houses, show you people making money, but if I didn't show you reality, which is where most of us sit, not that we're all that, you know, not making money, but 95% of the people statistically in America aren't making the money that they think they should. So it's fair to say most of us aren't making money, right? Doesn't mean I'm talking about anybody in this room. But 9 out of 10 of us aren't where we should be. And so the word certainty, what is the word certainty? We have opportunity over here, and we have certainty over here. Certainty. Your first
To be sure.
to be sure, okay. Anybody else? Certainty, what is certainty?
You know, 100%. You know, 100% that's gonna take place.
100% conviction, right? Okay. So those are always good, but the words that struck me is why it's your present time. So right now the certainty is 95% of the people in America aren't where they think they could be, or aren't financially ahead, or are looking at young guys here, some of you young gals here, thinking, wow, I'm in a job, I'm doing whatever I'm doing, I have no idea what you guys do. But a lot of us are like, we're indentured service. What's our way out? How am I at the end of the month gonna have enough money to buy a new car? To go out and do, like, buy a wakeboard, do whatever it is. How am I going to have money to go away in the future? That's what's going on in a lot of people's minds. So the present time, we're coming from a spot that maybe isn't one with lots of opportunity. Okay? Another couple words, synonyms of that are away or farthest or remotest. So the certainty in people's life right now, it's remote chance that I'm going to make it and have opportunity and make it happen. Anybody resonate with this stuff? Maybe not you, but people around you?
Mm-hmm.
But it's reality, right?
That's right.
That's what's happening now. So the way I look at it is negative, if you will, you know, in the present time, and find a way to feed opportunity. And so that's what we're doing. And we're going to share with you a plan that since 2011, groups like this have been using around the country to break the tax code, get out of the tax matrix. Knowledge is power, right? And if you have knowledge, do you think money would attract to you?
Yes.
Very likely it would. Any good idea that's out there, very likely someone that's got some money will say, you know, I'd like to be behind that. What do you mean I can pay off my debt in a third of the time? What do you mean I could do that and then take the money and invest it in real estate in my retirement? Are you kidding me? Yeah, good ideas. Okay? All right. And you guys can stop me anytime you want or ask questions. This is your day, your evening, right? And what we want from you really is that you come back. And then you see something that you want to come back to, or there's someone around you, it's like, you know, come check this thing out. Punch some holes in what I'm seeing here. These guys are really doing something, and I want to do it, and I've been looking at it. You got a lot of options to get into business. Being an entrepreneur is the way in America. Isn't that the American way?
That's right.
I mean, it really is. And what do most people do? They go to a job. Okay, so we're duped. I think in a way, we've fallen victim to the American way, okay?
That's right.
The pattern is now, go to school, and somebody can fill this in. Get good grades,
So you can get a
and then
good
what happens
job.
after that?
Get a good job.
Get a job. Okay, that's it, right? Read Rich Dad Poor. That's a good thing goes out in living expenses, and a third goes out in taxes. All right, so can you live on a third of what you make? Can you go on trips? Can you buy cars? Can you buy the homes? Can you do the things you want to do on a third? It's hard to say. Depends on how much money you're making. Making hundreds of, or you know, making $20,000 or hundreds of thousands of dollars. You could. Right? Possible. But what if you can change that around? This is what we are doing. Okay, so the many employees right here, that's our current situation. Let's just break it down. This is what it looks like. The age of 65, the certainty, the reality, the present situation. At 65, 54% of people are dependent on church, state, friends, family, not government, whatever, right? Over half the people at age 65. Whose plan was that in this room? Was anybody 65? We're not there yet, are we? So when you're 65, do you think you want to be dependent? No, we don't. Okay? Do you want to still be working at 65? Okay, this is just by age 65. Okay? Now there are some people that got lucky. Right? They jumped off the ship a little early. They say these people here got out of jail free or whatever. 1% of people are wealthy. The one that bugs me. What do you think it means financially? To be financially independent. What number? What monthly income? No. What annual income would be a number that you would say, around the country would mean you're financially independent. I can tell you, if you pay your bills at the end of the month and you have something left over, you're financially independent because you've cracked the monthly expenses, right? But beyond that, give me a number. Anybody have a number? 100,000?
200,000.
You're really financially independent. Anybody else? We're realistic. Statistically, around the country, it's between $35,000 and $40,000. It's like your taxes. You send your taxes into 10 tax preparers. Come back with 10 different answers. So in this one, you're going to have some averages, but around the country, somewhere between 35 to 40 grand means you're financially independent. Not 100, CJ, it's not 200, okay? So what we look at is, what do the wealthy people do, okay? This is what they do. This is what we're going to talk about tonight. They're in real estate now in a business, 74% of them. And you guys can take pictures of the slides. I have no problem. If you want to take notes, go back and talk to someone at home. or however, you certainly can do that. So 74% of them, that's the key. That's the clue, right? 3 out of 4 people are in business. They're entrepreneurs, like we talked about earlier. There's doctors, I'm going to walk a little bit here. CEO, presidents of companies, 5% are super salespeople, really good at it. We're talking, you know, the realtor on the bus, the realtor on the billboard, you know, the insurance salesman, you know, the stockbroker, the big ones, right? There are some that are really successful that you probably don't have the billboards and don't have to do it that way. They do it by word of mouth, and they network, and they make their money because they're good at what they do, and they get referrals. But they're still in the sales industry. And 1% or less make it that way, through the lottery, right? And we've all heard stories about that. So 3 out of 4 people are business owners. So what we're going to do today is show you how to plug some holes in the bucket. And some of the band-aids on here are some of the things we're going to talk about, ways to save your money, grow your wealth. We have to keep our money first and then grow our wealth and build our net worth later, okay? So for me, what I would say, for about 8 years, was looking at real estate investing as an insurance agent. And I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of working for a company. And I eventually went to a real estate seminar, and I didn't know the difference. I spent $6,300 for 5 days and walked out of there. Haven't worked since. I've loved it. I'll tell you about a couple more things that have happened to you, get to know me a little bit as we go through this. And my whole goal here is just to kind of give you an idea of, hey, well, if that happened to someone like him, it can certainly happen to me. Or the option is this. I mean, I really do honestly say it. There's no reason why you just can't go back to your job, work hard, get there early, stay late. No one says you have to take breaks or lunches. And who the heck needs a vacation? Just work your butt off, is another word I could use for that. You work your tail off until you get to age 65, and you've worked so darn hard, probably then they will take you to the graveyard, put you in your box, and it'll be done. You know, if you love your job, that's great. Make them take the money and learn how to do real estate with us. But if you don't like your job, you don't want to stay there, and you don't want to work late, you don't want to go early, you don't want to give up time, you know, and you feel like your job's sometimes you're wasting time. Man, I could do something more if I just could do it my way and not follow some of these silly rules, whatever it is, you know, it's like, come on. I'm always thinking about something else, right? So we're gonna show you some patches in it. But here's a couple things with me on opportunity and certainty. This is a house, obviously, that we rehabbed last year in Phoenix. I have my little marketing site. I'm always saying, text your name here if you want to learn how to do real estate investing. And the sad thing about that is the dumpster left one day and I had to take my magnet off it. So hopefully I can still get calls from it because it's driving around. We bought on 8 Earl, 3034 East Earl. And that's what it looked like when we bought it. This is our truck and our car. That's the kitchen after we removed it. That's Daryl on the ground and my wife's candles. That's the kitchen after. We learned how to fix and flip homes. Isn't that cool? So that's a cell phone. Just to give you, Todd's not in here, or Brian's not in here. But don't use photos to sell your home. It's not that I'm selling it with that photo. With your cell phone, you'll see the difference. Use a professional photographer. We obviously got to do minor things, carpet paint, minor, don't spend too much money. Rehab from the long term that's all. And so we did the current colors. And that's the outside of the house. The grass is green, everything's looking good. Notice the house on the right. If I had a picture that was white enough, you could say the other house was white too. What's the difference between the way that looks and the way that looks? It doesn't really match. It doesn't really match. See, John was cheap. John said, you know what, those are, look at the nice plants we've planted, and these flowers are gonna try to come back again. They died in the first 3 or 4 days because they didn't get enough water. But it was green. I thought, oh, let's just try it. So 3 months later, this beautiful house hadn't sold. And so I was conned into painting it so that it matched the inside. 7 days later, the grass is brown as can be. The season changed. I don't know why the grass dies around here and then comes back later. That house sold in 7 days later. So the opportunity was there. John didn't see. I mean, we painted everything. We painted the fence. We painted the doors. I actually got to have some fun and paint the windows.
Because it was white.
Because it didn't match when they drove up to the house. They said no way. They looked at that and said, nah. But it's just a market. You got to get into it. And I thought, there's no way. You know, I came for $355,000. $355,000, but in Phoenix, that's $355,000. Actually, now it's $400,000. You know, crazy. But so that's what ended up happening. Just painted the house. Okay. So learning experience. Even people that know what they're doing. You have to sometimes pay attention to the market. That's 7 days. And I said, no way. Paint this in white and blue. Come on, or gray. Some other things, you know, we talk about travel and having fun. You know, I'm not bragging or boasting, but I get to go out and do whatever I want, whenever I want, regardless sometimes of what it costs, how long it takes. Because I have the time, and I have some money, and my wife likes to travel. So we had a bucket list thing. Anybody got a bucket list of places you want to go, people you want to do something with? That's 3 weeks in a car in Spain, at a little village. That's before we went to Spain. We went on a 10-day Greek island cruise. That's Santorini. That's some other place, and obviously with the beverages there got us happy. We were happy. That was the coolest view, winding up through all these roads to get there. Restaurant, had a blast. And then we went to Costa Rica. A couple years ago. I want to have a tropical place, and I want to live in Costa Rica. That's just Pam monkeying around, and she got a banana cam too that day. She didn't know it. But what actually happened is she was feeding, we couldn't see it in her hands, the bananas, and so they grabbed the bananas and then they run away. Every time that monkey was there for a nanosecond, grabbed it and left. And every time he left, he came back, he put his hands on Pam's hair. And at the end of 3 or 4 monkeys doing their thing, she had a banana shampoo, which is great. Okay? So those are just fun things to do. You know, if you have enough time. Is time more important than money, or is money more important than time?
Time, more important.
It is. I don't care how much time you have, you know, money you have. If you don't have time to go away for a weekend and do something cool, even if it's $500, big deal. You know, and if you don't have the time, you get all the money in the world. I love doing not fly fishing, but salmon fishing and halibut. I love going to, you know, sail fishing to Costa Rica. And sometimes those trips cost $1,000 a day. A guide and nice airplanes and nice, you know, lodges and all, and we do it right. And so to go spend $10,000 in a week, it hurts. It hurts really good. But, you know, it hurts. But if you didn't have the time, what matters? Some people work so hard, they hold it all and then they don't have it. So it's a combination of time and money, but time is way more. So, Renata, you may want to write this name down and see it up here, and we'll give you some more information on that. Go Google it, and then the person that got you here, talk to them about it and follow up. We're going to go breeze through some of the information on the education. I want to teach you some of the things around it. But the education is the fuel that's horsepowering those people over there to do real estate. Should you want to do it, come back and check out what we're doing, come on the weekend, see some of the things we're doing, and decide, you know, kind of want to hang out with this group and see what's going on. And then at some point, if you're going to get into business, we'll lay that out, what that would cost, and I'll give you the big view of that today. So, I'm a marketing affiliate. A lot of the folks that here are, as a student of ours, we're spreading and growing this company by word of mouth, networking this. You can't buy this on TV, you can't buy it on billboards or anything that are successful and active students are bringing new students in. We're intentionally growing this group. So I'm marketing little operations in 5 cities and 3 states on the Western coast. With 350 people in the cities that I want to invest in or play in and have a good time in. Okay, are doing this. So I go to different places, San Diego, Seattle, Spokane, here in Phoenix, and I'm putting my shoe leather in so that when the time turns and we have lots of opportunity, because the real estate market changes, doesn't it go like this, up and down? It does. I want to have trained boots on the ground for the next day. Where do you think we're at? Are we going up still? Are we at the top? Are we tipping? It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, Keeps, Neither do I. It's like the stock market, it just won't stop. But it's gonna change, and when that happens, people have a problem with uncertainty, or certainty that we need to get out, so this is good stuff. So, I'll do the best I can to give you the information I can to make a decision on whether this is something you want to come back and check out further, okay? I'm not licensed, I've been a real estate agent, I've been an insurance agent, I'm not active in any of them, okay? We have some agents in here, we have some licensed attorneys and different people.
There's a
that are
guy that
independent
owns some
contractors that are here, but this
He owns about
presentation
5
is
rentals.
general
Jesse
information.
Rich. You're gonna
It's
hear more
information
about him.
provided by this company. It's what we
He's an
do with the
amazing man.
information that makes the power. And so you will probably want to have some advice as you go along, and if you start building a business, you're gonna have to have some counsel, okay? And the best counsel to get is referral from people around you, rather than going to Craigslist or Edgelist or wherever you're gonna Google, right? The black hole or the universe. It's best to find somebody else around that's already got somebody. It's, hey, you know, John, call Mike, he's the guy that's really good on foreclosure law or eviction law. Give that person, give Karen a call, because she's really good at doing evictions. And so, work with the group. That's one of the power formula group is that. It's intellectual property of Renatus. So don't go posting it. If you get pictures and I'll take pictures, feel free to. So you can remember some of the stuff. But if you post it on the internet, it may not make sense, because it may be 2 or 3 slides together that make a story, and one slide standing by itself. It's like, well, that doesn't make sense. What does that mean? So you can certainly take pictures of it. We are building communities all around the country. Arizona, we're in Arizona, right? But Utah, California, East Coast, West Coast, and that's what you're seeing happening here. This group in the last 30 days has not quite doubled in size, but they've had about a 50% increase, bringing students from around the valley. You want to call this a valley? The Phoenix Valley, is this a valley too? What do you call it?
We're just Tucson.
They're Tucson, okay. I've been down here golfing and goofing around and playing with the cactus and hiking some trails, so we're in Tucson, and so we're growing Tucson, and people have come that are our students coming together, but we're looking for new folks to grow this. So here's what happens tonight. Inform you about what Renatus is. Educational services, and that we are marketing this ourselves. We're the ones that are helping you get into this. We don't go flying away, we stay. I mean, what are the chances if you enroll in an educational plan and get into business with someone and they're working with you on a weekly basis? Do you think they're gonna backstab you? It's ourselves. We watch what's going on and make sure that we have good behavior, good actions, good integrity, and high morals, so that we can do business. Just we agree what we want to see happen. Okay? You're not gonna be asked to buy anything. If you need more information, we can get that for you. The person that got you here. Okay, we doing good?
Yes.
Okay. So here's some reasons why you might be here. So can I ask a couple people that are new, why are you here today? Who's new that would like to talk about them? Okay, Gabriel.
All of them.
All of them. And what stands out to you?
Money.
Money. Okay, I like that one too. Yeah, 'cause money buys happiness, right? Buys your time back. Anybody else? Knowledge. Absolutely. Okay. Knowledge. Good. Knowledge is power, right? I mean, once we know what we can do, right? So let's just look at this a little differently. Here's another way. I want to get into investment real estate because I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't know how, and I don't have the network. I don't have the people around me. So half the reason why people are more come to go to seminars or classes and try to learn, or go to YouTube University, whatever, are some of these reasons. But we have all 4 of them here. The biggest one, really at the bottom, is the resources of the network. Because if you can combine money and knowledge, and you have some people putting their time and Zuleta together, and you have a network, things happen. So those are the 4 currencies, and honestly, I feel time, is the one that we're trying to win back through our money. But we have to figure out how and who will. Okay? So we can do this on your own. It doesn't work so well sometimes. And I'm an example of that. I'm just wanting to do this. I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't know how. I just don't have the resources, the people around me. I don't want to learn this all night. I don't want to learn to ride the bike. I want dad and mom to help push me, keep me going. Have the training wheels on it, and then when I'm eventually ready, let's get rid of them. All right, so here's a couple of the lessons. So we talked about the taxes already, right? 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. How about get it to the point where you got a different percentage. 10% of that goes to taxes. I'll show you here in a minute. And you're living on them. They basically are the same. Okay. These are the numbers behind it. And so most people in America that are in the one-third plan, live in what we call low efficiency. They're in debt, unfortunately. They're paying way too much in taxes. And liabilities. Is your house, the one you live in right now, a liability or an asset? If you own it, is it an asset? You know, if you're renting it, that's fine too. It's a liability or an asset?
Liability to the owner free and clear.
So it's liability. Why? Until you own it free and clear. Why is that, Jeff?
Because you pay interest and it's not creating income unless you're obviously using it for nightly rentals or something, so. But if you
So a
just
house
live
is-
in it,
Yeah, it's you're living it, and it's an expense. We have to pay the mortgage, the taxes, maintenance, all the utilities, right? Okay, so, but there's another way of looking at it. Doesn't most people, the biggest asset that they own, the house that they live in? So there's the income and expense in the rich dad poor dad analogy. He plays this game cash flow. Who's played cash flow? It's like Monopoly on steroids. It's a really good game in life to play a game. It's how can you get out of the rat race financially by investing your money and going somewhere. The whole idea is that you have income and expenses, right? And so we're trying to get it so that the income is up by the expenses. Well, at some point, if we start paying down our mortgage, you'll see this here in a minute, we have what's called a balance sheet, our net worth. What are we worth? You know, a lot of people are bankrupt. They're just making it. We're in the red. What's the average credit card debt in America? What's the statistic? Does anybody know? How much are they in debt in America?
12,000.
15, 20.
10, 15. Yeah, I've heard anywhere from 10, 16 to $20,000. So we're paying that. We're in the red. We might have a car, we might have something, but we're in the red. We're just making our monthly payments. We're barely making it. Your house can be an asset in the balance sheet, what you owe versus what it's worth, right? And at some point, you want to pay out the mortgage. That's what Joseph is showing people in there. Rather than paying a 30-year mortgage or selling your house every so many years and trying to upgrade, is why not find out with your current budget a way to pay that off in a third of the time? And that's what he's teaching people how to do. You do that, and then you find money, you put in houses, you buy rental properties, and start paying those off in a third of the time. And then use a house as a bank to buy more houses. And I gotta watch myself here, I go into real estate mode real quickly. I'm a real estate investor, not a presenter per se, so if I go off on tangents teaching, it's because in my heart I just want to teach people how to do this, because that's what I do. Okay, so liabilities, they live on a fixed and determined income. Your paycheck is your paycheck, and you know it's going to go up unless it doesn't. It usually goes up a little bit, but sometimes people have a drawback. They get downsized. What happened to you?
Monica,
Monica?
last week,
Holy moly.
yeah,
Yikes.
we moved into a brand new house.
I know,
2
yeah, I
days
saw the
later.
pictures right off
Yeah.
the freeway.
And she got laid off 2 days after we moved in. So
Oh.
thank God for having this opportunity.
Thank God.
Wow.
Things happen.
Yeah.
So she has
That's a
no
perfect
fixed
example,
and
man.
determined
Perfect.
income. Her income is
Wow.
your income.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing. Wow.
Yeah.
So it's where we're at. So I'm not digging anybody. It's just reality. 95% of the people in America are running, on a lower efficiency. And so the higher efficiency is to be an entrepreneur and get a business on your own. Okay? And this is what we do. We accelerate debt. That's what Joseph's training people how to do. Get people into taxation. And Pam's going to talk about it a little bit on getting write-offs. Here we pay our taxes. Here we're going to show you in a minute how we write stuff off and not pay taxes. We find assets that pay us. Vacation renting or nightly renting in your own home is possible. I have a big home and I could rent out some rooms, and I've never really thought about doing it until I realized how much people are renting their stinking rooms. And I can lock some people off in different parts of the house and do your thing. It's just crazy. But find things that pay you. We've all thought about, what if I had a rental property, or what if I had a little business and it's spun off cash flow? I didn't have to go to the house, or I didn't have to go to the job all the time to get income. It's called mailbox money. It's called cash flow. Robert Kiyosaki, if you're familiar with him, if you want to Google his books, he's all about cash flow. Find a way to have money come in without you putting your time, labor, and effort into it on a regular, determined, daily basis. But get smart, get some knowledge, right, ladies? And we got to do something so that something pays you, so you don't have to trade money and time back and forth. Okay? And we have new and different income, controlled income. I'll show you what that looks like. Let's just get over to this. I'm going to go to this side so I won't be blocking you the whole time. So on the low efficiency, here's just the numbers game. So 100% of the money comes in, it goes through your social security number. And the next couple slides, I'll show you what this in reality means, these are the numbers. A third, on average, a third of your money goes out of your paycheck every 2 weeks or every week or every month, however you get paid. They take the money out first. Okay? These people up here, there's a big zero here, right? Something's happening different on the higher efficiency, the self-employed, the entrepreneur. We all spend about 50% of the money or use 50% of the money. Okay, we're equal, right? Whether you're low efficiency or high efficiency. You know, I just say the higher income person just finds a way to live at a higher level. You know, you start making $10,000 a month, you find a way to spend 9. You start making 12, you find a way to spend 11. Then you might have a few assets and things to show for it, or you just find a higher lifestyle. We see here, I'm spending twice as much as I used to make. Well, I make enough money that'll make it happen. I mean, it's just what happens in a market. But half of us use the money. We all pay sales tax, gas tax, you name it, right? Life tax. What happens is at the end of the game, the low efficiency person left over. A business owner is running their thing this way through their EIN number, their company number. We were here earlier this evening talking about business credit, how quick you can get credit in a business and not use your social security number, your credit report, and you can slowly start building credit at stores and eventually at banks so that you can use your business. I mean, up in Phoenix, they can go and get an account with SRP without bringing a deposit down, but using your EIN number. SRP up there, if you go call in to get a new account, they want a $500 deposit, they want to check your check, credit, all this, just to open up an account for a utility. You call up and say, hey, I got a business, my business wants to start it up, boom. Don't have to do it. It's kind of little wrinkles, so you can learn these things. Yeah, that could have been a learning experience. No, I got that down. Call up your utilities and say, hey, can I have my business start paying my bills? You never know. Okay? But we just found that out last night in our business credit class, that gal is her business is that her utilities going through SRP without any deposit, without any, she had horrible credit. Okay. Anyway, EIN number. At the end of the day, we're not paying taxes because what happens along the way we use things, and you're going to see that next page, we're starting to deduct things after we get the money, so that when we get down here, now we decide, all right, we got 40% left over, and we're taxed on 40% of our income because we found a way to make a lot of this tax deductible. The stuff that we use, your car, your phone, your travel. We went to Europe, and some of it was recreational, but some of it was travel. I found a way in Costa Rica to go out and spend an afternoon looking at houses, bring back some brochures and put them in my folder. We went to Europe and I did the same darn thing. Wouldn't it be kind of cool to have a little hamlet up in the hills above Rome somewhere? So spend part of the day not just going to wineries and all the other things you can do, and all the different old buildings. Oh my gosh. Really cool. But end of the day, you got 40% left over. On average, 8% is what we pay in tax. Mine was just under 8% this year. And you have 32% left over. It's a huge, I mean, that's almost 4 times, almost 5 times.
Wow.
I'm not really good at math, I'm a C+. And thought I was a B student when someone told me, John, 2.97 is a C, and I go, come on, let's round up. 2.97, I'm a B student. No, dude, on my report card, you don't hit the B number or color until you hit 3.0.
C+.
Microsoft 3.0, right? But no, just for me. But anyway, 30% of them are left over. And these are just numbers, but it's significant. Let's say at the end of the day you had $12,000 left over, you know, at the end of the year to do savings or put into something. And here it's 4 times that. That should be somewhere like $48,000, right?
Yep.
I can have. That's a lot of money. Could you put down $48,000 and do some investing? Could you buy some stocks? Do some real estate? So here it looks like. Hello. High efficiency. This is the chart I was talking to you about. Rather than going to 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, we find a way to pay less than 10% in taxes, 10% in interest, doing what Joseph's doing, setting up a business, and now you got 80%. You got the rest of it for lifestyle. That's how you end up with 32%. We find a way to reduce your taxes from 1/3 to 10% or less. Get your interest, rather than paying 2-3 times what you pay on your mortgage. Just bought a house, put a mortgage together, and seeing the number what it really costs you to make all 360 payments. If you bought a $200,000 house and made all 360 payments, that's 30 years. It close to $600,000, close to 3 times what the house because of the interest. Why not pay it off in 1/3 of the time? tell us. All right. So, business owners. This is what happens to business owners. They get nearly 400 write-offs. You receive money first and claim expenses second. You write out items like business, cars, insurance. It was a write-off for me to come down here. The gas, the meal we had, the use of my car. It was a 58 cents amount of, so we get 55. I get on my tax credit 58 cents for every mile. I think it's 212 miles between my house and here and back. And I jot that down, and I was looking at it at the end of the year. It's like my mileage is more than sometimes my car might be. Is that deduction against my way is the least expensive way to pay taxes. You got to make sure you do it the right way. We have you set up your entity to tax through our tax and legal class, which is where Pam's going, telling people and learning how to set this up so that you can pay less in taxes and you can set yourself up. Think about what type of business you have. So there was another slide. I don't know where it went. Where did it go?
I have a question.
Oh, there we go. I went right past it. That's the one. I went past it. That was my fault. So the employee, I was too quick. Had 15 to 20 write-offs. That's what confused me. Employee is the most expensive way to pay taxes. Government, this is just explaining the chart, right? Government takes their third out first, and it's difficult to write off items. Yes.
What is this insurance?
What?
What kind of insurance are you talking about where you say write off insurance? Is that health insurance, life insurance? What is insurance? Is that?
Primarily your health and disability and all those types of insurances. Usually an individual cannot write that off, but a business can. Tracy?
Also on your personal property, you can't write off your insurance. But if you don't own your personal property, your business owns the property, guess what? It's the cost of doing business, and therefore it's a write-off.
Yeah. So it's amazing what, Sherry, what we don't know. I here's 15 to 20 write-offs. I won't buy that slide with the clicker. Haven't done this presentation that many times. It's amazing. Things are going by that we cannot write off. Very low efficiency is what we call it, okay? And we go over here, this is the way we want to live versus the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And the business owner has 400 opportunities. He gets self-employed. Right away, we set up an entity and pay less taxes, right? That's huge, because we're taking our taxes from 1/3 down to 10% left. Mine was, 8%. So here's what's going on next door with Joseph, at some level. He's trying to dispel this myth. You have a $1,200 monthly payment. $900 of it goes to interest, $300 goes to principal. Does that make sense? That's not good, right? On average, in America, people seem to refinance their homes somewhere around here. I've heard statistics that it's starting to go out further. They're waiting, okay? And so what they do is they get out here so far, and they start this cycle all over again. Because once you've got a few years in, you're gaining ground on your principal, you're paying your mortgage down, or paying you're gaining what you pay per month towards your mortgage, and you're reducing how much goes towards interest. At about 16, 17 years, we're at the halfway point where half goes to interest and half goes to principal. That's why a house costs you 3 times, 2.5 to 3 times if you just keep doing this thing, okay? So what Joseph is showing us how to do is how to evaporate that in 1/3 of the time and get your mortgage paid off somewhere in this range. Okay? That's a crazy chart. So I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to go to the graph. I'm going to go to the. I broke this the last time. I have to shut this down, don't I, Ray? Is that what has to happen?
Yeah, just sit with me.
I need a van up here. So, I just want to show you something. We use that same concept. Okay? So we're paying our mortgage. Okay? This is a rental house. Okay? And you got $1,200. Someone's in our rental house. Who's paying the mortgage?
Renters.
Renters. Well, we're paying it, but they're paying us that or more, right? So that it pays it off, okay? And this is mortgage going down. And this is appreciation. Is real estate going up or down? It's going up, right? Over time, is real estate going up? Yeah, just since I got you in there, when you were a kid, in your teenage years, what was the house worth that you thought?
Where we live, probably $30,000.
$30,000.
Yeah.
What is it worth today?
Today, that same house would probably be close to 180.
Anybody else? How about you, Sherry? 180, so from 30 to 180, gone up 7, 8 times, right?
Yeah,
Ours was,
40 years.
40,000, was here in Tucson. It was, it had 4 bedrooms and a swimming pool, it was very nice, $40,000, 1970.
$40,000 in 1970. You're dating yourself a little bit here, kid.
Yeah.
I know, it's
But
tough.
anyways,
So am I.
it is what it is. Anyways, so it's, I drove by it and I think at the time it was 165, so that was maybe 10 years ago, so it was probably like.
So it's gone up 4 times.
And it looks terrible.
Yeah, so it's worth 160 grand, and over the course of that many years, the mortgage has been paid off. Obviously, a long time ago, less people kept refinancing, pulling the money out, and staying in debt, right?
Yeah, it was beautiful at the time.
Anybody else got a story about their house? My family home, right?
Mine actually increased a lot. It was parents when they bought it was 120.
When they bought it.
Yeah, and it sold. They sold it in 2006 for $550.
Holy moly! That's here in Tucson. Wow.
They made out like bandits.
My family built a house for 50 grand, bought a lot for 50 grand. We're into it 100,000. I'll kind of give you. I was a kid, real young kid, 1958. I was sleeping in the car, more basically. So they were into it in 1958 for 100 grand, and it sold in 2016 for $935,000. So one of the lessons I will tell you is this: if you're gonna buy houses and fix and flip them or wholesale them out, try to keep a few along the way, because over time things go up. I wish more than anything I had kept a lot more of the houses that I had. There were some houses, there's one in Tempe right now. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna see you up in Seattle. I know there's houses that I bought and sold for $150,000 around a lake called Green Lake in Seattle. They're right now worth $1 million.
Can I go in front of the camera?
Renting for probably $3,000-$4,000 a month. When I bought them, I thought they rented for $1,000. I was in them for $150. I just wanted to have 10 houses, maybe $1,000 a month, pay them off, and make $10,000 a month, and be worth $1 million. Now one house could do that. So the things that are happening here is mortgages getting paid down, houses appreciating. You're getting tax savings. As this happens, you get to deduct the taxes, and you get cash flow. There's monthly cash flow coming in. The difference between the $1,200 and your mortgage, you probably could be renting this for $15. Let's say with rentals these days, nightly rentals, $2,500 a month. I'm just using a number, right? But the nightly rentals, you want to say, you know what, I'm not going to rent it for $1,500 a month. I'm going to have some months of the year where I'm not going to rent it for much, because not as much demand. But during the winter, people come here, and they flock to these places, and you can rent some of these homes for theoretically $1,000 more, $2,000 more than you can rent it. Okay, so you're going to get income, and at the end of the day, this is called cash flow. The difference between this and this, and then massive cash, quick, or however you want to call it. When you sell this and the mortgage is here and you appreciated it here, we just talked about it with our homes. Where we at? Our homes have gone up 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 times. 8 times over a year. Yeah, you got to put some money in the insurance. You got to upkeep and take care of them. You do it right, those are all tax deductions, right? All right, so that's just a list. Any questions on this? I like to call this a horn, no plenty, spitting out dollars. Over there, Joseph and all, there's an amortization chart that makes me look sick, unless you can figure out how to turn the bank's products around and use interest-only products versus amortized products.
Yes.
And it's a science that a C+ student really can't just explain to you. I'll just tell you that there's a lot of money at the end of the game, and I don't want you to pay my mortgage. All right, Mr. Vanna, you ready to rock and roll?
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Technology.
You guys all right?
Yeah.
Mr. Vanna?
Huh?
Did you say Mr.
Oh, you were out of the room, that's a joke. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Watch out, he's got the taser right behind him, you just be careful.
Oh my
Casey, keep that down there. So another way of looking at this, guys, we're gonna get there. High efficiency, you have 32% left over. Could you go out and buy apartment buildings like everybody Scott Rowe bought back in Chicago? Because you got the money to do it, and the cash flow that comes off it, and these numbers get bigger. Otherwise, you know what the banks are offering? Now I heard that some of the banks are actually offering almost 2%. You know how much you get, how long you have to keep it in to get 2%?
A very, very long
I
time.
think like 10 years.
And you know how much you have to put in, 100,000?
It's a huge amount. So otherwise, if you just want to put 500 or 1,000 or whatever their minimum is in a CD, banks are generous. They'll give you 1% on 7% of your money. So you just gotta save money. We get savers. Here we get to buy assets and kick off. You know, the whole idea is like, if you bought a chicken and you ate it, where are you at? You're probably happy and you're taking the rest of the garbage, right? What if you bought a chicken that laid eggs? And kept laying eggs. So these houses are chickens that lay more eggs, that lay more eggs, that lay more eggs. So down the road, the whole idea is to, we just talked about it. Don't sell your houses, don't kill the chicken, just let it grow in value and buy more chickens.
Yes.
To lay more eggs. This is, I'm taking down a D stance now, not from C, I'm going to B, but going way low. So another disclaimer, just some of these things are for information purposes. Anybody's growth and what they can do with the information here we have, they're all going to vary. We're not all the same. Everybody in this room that does a deal is going to do a deal at a different number. Okay, we'll just show you some of our deals. Doesn't mean that's going to happen to you, okay? But it is possible. So risk versus effort in real estate. It's a big one. We'll break it down. Who's heard of wholesaling? Okay. You guys know what wholesaling is? Someone tell me what wholesaling is. Anybody that wants to.
Taking a buyer and a seller, putting them together and taking the middle piece. So you find a property, get it under contract, find someone that wants to buy it, and you sell for just a little bit of profit. There's a lot of meat on the bone for the end investor.
Yeah. So it's really, put it short what Jeff said, type of property. Get control of it. We talk about controlling stuff, right? And have a buyer lined up to buy it for more than what you contracted for. And you get it out of contract and sell your contract. Okay? Real simple. Yes, Linda.
This woman and I want to edify this group is they had a house and they were going to buy it. Then they had the offer in. And there was another buyer that was in the same room, wasn't it?
Yeah, what those big ones.
And they wanted to buy it. So they had the property for how long? Less than 2 days.
Under contract.
Under contract. And the other person bought it for $5,000.
So you got paid $5,000 not to buy a house.
Yeah, not to buy a house.
That's a,
So that was
Less
a
than
real.
yeah. And so that is just accidental, incidental, right?
Yeah.
What if you're really smart at this game and you go out and find 3 or 4 buyers that want to buy investment property, and a contractor who wants to do deals, and you go out and find those properties for them. One of Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad says, you know what? Here's the way to get rich. Go out and find somebody that wants something, get a commitment from what they want, and go out and find it. That's called super wholesale. The other way is to go out and type a property and then throw out your list and hope that someone on that list who wants that. That's random. And fix and flip is sort of the same way. When I fix and flip homes, it's like, I wish I knew the buyer for this home. I might not paint it blue and gray and white. I might not do this. I might not pick those colors. But I oftentimes, most times, don't know. But I know I'm putting it out at a price and a condition in the market that it's going to sell, usually within a week to 10 days. But it would be great to know who my buyer was before, because I could save some money, and they could come out and design the house, and then right at closing, they bid on me, and I sell for the house. It's not the color I want. No, just kidding. Anyway, there's very little risk. You go out and it takes very little risk because you're tying up a contract. If you don't get it sold like you did, Raina, you still had a way to buy it or keep it. You had money, right? But it takes a lot of time. It takes more time. Okay. Go down the graph further. Fix and flip. It's going to have a little more risk because you're going to close on the property. You're going to own it. Now you're going to take and put some money into it. You're going to be paying for it for a while, for a few weeks or months. My average is this. I average 107 days per flip. I've done 208 of them so far that I kept track of. I didn't track the first few hundred, if you will. It was a lot. It's not 1,000, right? But it's hundreds of homes I've done. But I tracked the last 208, and $32,000 a house in 107 days. Okay, but I have some money in the game. Okay, my effort's a little less because I can find these homes and do my project that way a lot quicker, and it gets better. If you're going to buy and hold the rental property, now you're in it for more, very likely, possibly. Okay, you own the whole thing. You're going to keep it for a while. You're going to have more responsibility to maintain and keep it. It's not going to take you as much time and effort because you're not going to have to pay quite as much as a fix and flipper to make our profit, our 30 grand. You're not going to have to deal with the wholesaling. You know, a lot of effort. You're going to make your 5 grand, right? But down here, you're going to make more plenty, like we just talked about. Your $500 to $1,000 a month in rental cash flow, and then you're going to make a big chunk, right? And then at the end of the day, it's being a money lender. So when you talk about these retirement accounts that we have, the retirement accounts can be used to lend to other people to do real estate. Okay? You can be real estate that you buy and put into your own account. You can lend out somebody else and vice versa. A lot of us that do the fix and flip need what we call gap funding. We need short-term amount of money to tie up the property and make up the difference between our loan and our purchase price. Or we need the gap is sometimes our fix-up money and the holding cost. And so those kind of things, people will pay double digit, I'm talking 10, 12, 15% interest, plus points, maybe 2 or 3% of what you're borrowing. So you can lend your money out and do really, really well. I currently have a loan up in Seattle, they're on month 15, and after 12 months, it went from 12% to 15%. And after 18 months, it goes to 18%. So they want to get it's on the market, and I think they got it sold. But they don't want to see the $150,000 go from 12 to 15 to 18%. But as it gets further out, the interest rate goes up. And they're going to pay me 2% of 150 grand, $3,000 at the end of the day to borrow the money, but 12% interest. Crazy, huh?
Great.
So what I'd like to do is bring a couple people, JC and Linda, just from our group, to talk to you for 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes about one of their transactions and deals and what it meant to them and what they did to it. And then we'll have Ray come up here in a minute do the same thing. So JC and Linda Williams, some of the leaders in our group. Ladies first.
I'll go.
Always ladies.
He'll go into the specifics, but about how many years ago was it? 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
We sold 3 years ago, September.
We got this house using none of our own money. And we had found this. It is a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, and then there's a mother-in-law's. It's like a studio. It had a little kitchen, did have an enclosed bathroom, and it was all enclosed by this fence. And it was really worn out when we got it. And so we went in. I actually helped work it too, which was great because I had helped on projects before, and being a woman at the time.
Now you're a lady.
I would help people, but a lot of the men didn't really like us to work. And I decided I will do this project and I will work on it. So I actually painted the inside of the mother-in-law's, dropped my phone twice in the toilet. Was, you know, one of my remarkable moments. But I'll tell you, it was a great project and we made very good money on it. And the people were happy and we had a great person who leased it at the beginning. And you can take it from there.
Okay, thank you. Well, one of the things that we did, we actually left corporate America about 8.5 years ago, and we did it through real estate. We had those JOB things, you know. She actually had worked for a company for 19 years and got laid off. And this was about 4 months after we started. So it was one of those things like, you know, do I have to go back to work? And say, no, don't go back to work.
And when I walked out, I said I will never work for anyone again.
So then, a 1.5 years later, I left from a company called Muscular Dystrophy Association. You might have heard of it, Jerry Lewis Telethon and that type of stuff. Just over broke, you're still working for somebody else and you're working on their dream and not your own. So this was, we actually, in 3.5 years, I don't know, you know, like John, I don't know how many houses we actually went through in all of our flips. But every fourth or fifth house or sixth house that we bought, we actually put it into our portfolio. And we put tents in it. And then we would take, and if they had been there for a certain length of time, we would take and sell it to them and take what we call paper. In other words, we became a bank. And so that was a real great way of doing things. This is one of the properties that we had acquired. Again, none of our money, we never used any of our own money. We used money that we had acquired by fixing and flipping a house. You make $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 at a pop, but you don't go out and spend it. You just stick it in the bank, and then when you get enough money, you go one of those houses, you buy it, and you put it in. So we started off using none of our own money. We still did deals without using our own money. This is one that we bought without using our own money. We purchased it for $47,000. Part of it was hard money, part of it was private money. In other words, people that know us, who work with us and deal with us, so they allowed us to use that money. Net rents over a 2.5-year period of time was $15,000 net. The whole property rented out for $1,025 a month. So the main house rented out for $600, the little casita rented out for $425. So it gave us a nice cash flow of a little better than $500 a month in, month out, month in, month out. We then put it back out on the market September 2, well actually next month it'll be 3 years ago. And we sold it for $74,000. So we actually made $42,000 in profit, not using our own money. How many of you guys would like to make money without using your own money?
It was passive, which
Yeah.
you all know what passive is.
In other words, we didn't go out and work. As I said, we haven't worked for anybody for 8.5 years now. And it's really quite nice when you wake up in the morning and say, okay, what are we going to accomplish today? What do we want to do today? What are our plans? Where are we moving to? Not moving to as far as
What's our
leaving,
goal?
but what are our plans and where do we want to go and do and have fun doing that type of thing. And so it gives us the opportunity to do things like go to Scotland, buy property there, and write the trip off. Then, terribly, we have to go to Scotland once a year in order to visit our property and have to write it all off.
We're gonna have
Isn't that
grandchildren,
terrible?
so
Well, I know, and the Scots love me, but yeah, I do actually own 5
We
children.
are.
You're open goals. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mike.
I wanna see the cowboys get killed. That's
Yeah,
what
there you go. I'll bring my kills one.
So we'll get to another one here. I just wanted to explain to you in a different way why we feel and actually we feel real estate is ideal. Okay? You get income that comes off of it. Right? We talked about that already. I won't do the different types. Cash flow, we talked about it, they blended it together well. And then a big chunk of equity at the end. Okay, a chunk. This is one that I like. Okay, you get deductions. Tax the biggest tax deductions that's out there that you can deduct from your income. They say if you own 4 or 5 homes as rental properties and have $100,000 a year job, that you can just about zero out close to the income tax on $100,000 a year by having 4 rental properties. Obviously, the price of the property and the income and expenses all ranges, but on average, 4 to 5 homes can net zero out the full income. What we showed you earlier, what that was 33%, right? So 4 homes can net out $30,000 of tax just by owning 4 real estate. Equity, the difference between what we owe and what we owe. It's worth, right? It's one of the coolest things in the world. We just talked about our homes doubled, tripled, quadrupled, went up 8. Was yours 8 times here? I think your house went up in value. For the home she lived in as a kid to today. That's equity. Appreciation. Talked about that. Real estate in Phoenix has been going up close to 10% in a lot of the zip codes. What's it going up around here? Anybody have any idea?
Well, CJ, you know.
5 to 6%.
Yeah, 6%.
5 to 6.
About that.
And then you have leverage. Okay? I think it's like the 8th wonder of the world. You can control a big house, a big thing with a small amount. Let me just show you what we just talked about. Appreciation. That's you, Vanna. Ready to rock and roll?
Vanna was sleeping.
Well, let's just talk, those are just words. Let's just talk about what that 5% looks like. Okay, so you end up buying a $200,000 house. And you put 20 grand down. 20K. Okay? Have an $80,000 mortgage. You said 5%, right? So a $200,000 house, 5%?
$180,000.
All right.
Plus it's $100,000 house.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it grew. So it went up 5%. So what's our house worth now? After 12 months, a $200,000 house.
210.
So now it's worth 210. What was our rate of return on that? So now it's worth 210.
50%.
50%. What do you mean 50%? 5%.
No, because you only put 20 down.
So what you're saying is that 10K, right? That's a K. Is a 50% rate of return in 1 year. Just because, and homes we just talked about here went over 8 times. Okay? So I think one of the 8 wonders of the world is to take 20 grand and leverage a $200,000 house and then watch it go up 5%. Or what if it went up 10%? What would this be? That would be
It'd be 100%.
that'd be 100%. I had 1 year in Seattle, owned 17 homes, and real estate went up 17% that year. And my tax person said, John, your amount of net worth went up ordinary just by owning some stinking houses. All right, so that's it. Leverage and appreciation shows you with a small return you can double or triple your money in a very short period of time. That makes sense? So real estate's an ideal investment because of those things. And so now Ray, like you and Jane, or just you come up, Ray, the leader of our group, is going to come up with another disclosure. We'll give you more examples of money being made, guys. This is what we're doing. We get to disclose. You know what? Not everybody's going to do this, but these guys have. And so Ray and Jane, would you come up and just talk? And then we're going to get into the.
So, there's a little family. So what was I gonna say? What were we talking about here?
With real estate houses and fun things like those.
I don't know why just mentioning their name was like about to make me cry.
Your kids?
Yeah, because I mean that's really why we do it. But then
That's why
also,
we're doing it.
Yes.
what's crazy is when I first met John in this group. Like I said, I was losing everything. What did that look like? I had a handyman contractor business, and 2 days after Christmas, I'm riding down this bike path with my dog, and it's a fashion statement apparently to not use an old bungee cord and have the dog on that. So she got this fancy new harness, this fancy new leash, which turned out to be the greatest blessing in the world because there was no give. There was no give. And so when this other dog came out, and the dog went this way, he pulled my handlebars, I went this way, smacked my knee. I just basically just demolished my meniscus on my knee, tore my ACL, my whole leg and back was numb. And I'm laying there and I just didn't even know what to do. Holy smokes, we have 4 months away from our wedding, that wasn't paid for. And now I work with my body. And so the surgeon was just like, figure out something to do because you are not using that leg
You
for
walked
at
in
least
with
4 to
crutches,
6
you
months.
were- yeah.
Holy smokes. That's when I found screens. So that's where I was. And I met with John and I was like, you gotta look at our house. Because our house, we can't pay for, but we don't have money to fix it up. Let's just figure out how much we can capture because I'm in the desperate situation where we just gotta pay our bills. We got so many people coming after us for the money we owe them. And that's when I first met you guys. Yeah, and I hobbled in and I was like,
You were so enthusiastic.
I don't have anything to lose at that point.
You did. I have a picture.
No, but what was really exciting about that is it just came up, but we opened up escrow on the 3rd house on our block that we're buying. And that one of them, and then this one is actually the next door house, because our house is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath little house, and it went from selling it to now buying the house next door too, turning that house into a nightly rental, and we did all of that through what's called a subject to. Anybody have ever heard of a subject to? Which is amazing. I'm basically taking over a $144,000 mortgage on a $200,000 house without having to qualify for the bank, without having to use my credit, and basically is giving me a substantial amount of equity. And he's in a bad situation. He just needs out and needs somebody to take over his payments. He's basically going to give us his house. It's absolutely amazing. And now she gets her second bathroom and a bigger house, and we didn't have to do anything for it except for start making payments. But that's cool. If you ever wanted to buy a house, there's people out there that need help, and they'll literally give you their house if you can just pay their mortgage for it. It is insane what's happening right now, because I'm talking to a type company, and they said that they have closed 10 of those this week. 10 of those deals where people are just taking over the payments. People are literally just giving their houses away.
They're in dire straits.
Because they've been waiting since 2008, 2009 for the prices to come back up, but they owe just as much as it's worth, so they can't sell it. And they literally just want somebody to take it away. And it's amazing. If you just know how to solve that problem, help somebody out, and then have a new house. It's a new one. Yeah, so that's totally not where I was going with this. These are actually a triplex and a duplex that we have. These are rental properties around Swan and Speedway that we purchased without using any of our money, which is pretty cool. So, you guys want to do this? These properties combined bring in almost $4,000 a month. After expenses, we get half of that. Is that fair?
That's fair.
It is fair.
That's awesome.
Makes
So-
Jane smile, I can tell her.
That's right.
But okay, it sounds nice now. It sounds nice now, but I tell you, it was not easy. It takes a lot of work. You can't give up on yourself because you're gonna want to quit on yourself. I mean, there's days where it's like we're crying, we're like, we're gonna lose everything, and then nope, we're gonna be awesome, and then nope, we're losing, we're going out of business. Oh, nope, awesome. Oh, no, we're going out of business. Oh, do we need to file bankruptcy? Possibly. Nope, we're okay. It's like, but it's cool. So if you guys want to do this, if you have a dream, if you have a vision, stick with this group. Keep coming back. Come check it out, and then see if this is right for you. Yes.
Excuse me. How do you find your houses? The ones that are over the mortgage or whatever.
That is a fantastic question. Here. Every single deal, every single penny has walked through the door of somebody. That's why we host different events. Because it's not just to find other real estate investors, we're always looking for people, property, and money. So regardless if somebody wants to work with us and become a real estate investor and pursue their dreams in that path, we leave them at least with some knowledge. What Joseph is showing you will literally destroy your perception of what the banking
Blow
is.
your mind.
It'll blow your mind, and you will walk out so excited and never look at your finances the same. And so you will be better after going through that. You will be more knowledgeable and make wiser choices. And if you do that, and if we can provide that value for you, if you come across somebody that has a problem, I guarantee you that if you did like us, you'll refer us to it because we can solve the problem. That's what it is.
That comes down to the knowledge thing that we're talking about.
But I mean, we do other things. We do marketing and other stuff like that. But most of them come here through people that know somebody. Somebody else needs help somewhere.
It's word of mouth.
Cool. Cool, right?
Well, thank you so much.
So to answer your question in another way, what Ray is doing, he's saying that the people that come through here learn how to find houses. Half of it's networking. Okay, that's what he just explained. Following foreclosure, big time people that are in default, marketing through the internet, social media, Facebook. We'll buy houses, we'll take over payments. So we're getting our people. When I say we have trained boots on the ground doing something that are bringing things back in here, that's what's happening. Okay, that's why I feel that the Lone Ranger. I'll tell you my story here real quickly as how I got into this group.
I like the way you said it.
The Lone Ranger.
Yeah, you said it perfect. He said it right. I'm just giving you a longer answer. They come here. But the Lone Ranger way, it's just me out looking for houses. How many can I find compared to if I had 10 people, and some of them were wholesale and some of them were fix and flip and buy and hold. As a group, we can do more. They say, you know, the word team means together, everyone. We can do more, right? And that's really, okay. So here's a way to change course. If you want to go from low efficiency to high efficiency, right? Is this the way to do it? Buy a book, go to YouTube, go to Guru events, and just go for it? Well, it was for me. Well, there wasn't YouTube.
Back then,
Scratch those things off.
There's
When I bought a book, I went to a Guru event, and I just went for it. I mean, I quit my job. I wanted this. I was so sick and tired of working for somebody else. There's a better way. This is a better way. And this is what we're doing while you're seeing those groups around the country, guys. Local group of community people working together. Hands-on experience. I'll read this for you. You guys can read it. Experts in their fields. We're training people, Sherry, to go do some of the things you just asked at race if they bring them back in here. You don't have to be good at everything, but there's people in here that are good at foreclosures. Me. There's people that are good at short sales. Others, subject to. I go out and stumble around and find something out there, and if it's a subject to, then I'm going to find Jeff or CJ or whoever that does subject to. That's not my skill. When I found one, guys, figure it out. I get a little piece of the pie. They get the deal, right? Because if I want to try to go and do it all, am I going to get the deal compared to someone who's trained well if I'm in a competitive situation? If another investor walks through and they know what they're doing on subject to, and I walk in there and I stumble my way, what are my chances? Same thing at auction. We have local offices to work out. Work from home, this is our office. Education. Get it? Yeah, I'll show you here in a minute. And then environment of empowerment. We want people to succeed. Okay? So, here's Renatus. This is the company. Go to myrenatus.com. What's cool about this is that this guy decided, I'm going to change the Guru way of teaching, and rather than have all of you come to one spot in Vegas or San Diego or Phoenix, it's hot, and listen to the Guru of the time, he says, I'm going to go ahead and put a bunch of these people that know in education and learn how to start with small classes that Pam's doing with people now, and work your way up to some of the advanced things I'm going to show you here, so that you can become a specialist. In college, the seminar world works completely the other way. What I went to see in my seminar was the sizzle, the 400 level stuff. Did not know about negotiating. I didn't set up an entity. I just went out. They said, just go out and find someone that wants something. That's what we did that too. And then go get it, right? But I was unprepared to do that. Okay? And so what we're doing here is learning through a path, just like going to college. You want to become a veterinarian, you want to become a doctor, you start with a certain series of classes and work your way up. But it's funny how entrepreneurial education and real estate education in particular is not taught that way. It's taught with the end in mind and then working your way backwards. That's a good way to go, but on such a high risk type thing, if you don't get educated to mitigate risk, one deal can take you out. I've lost money twice, 20 grand. And I was in it long enough that it didn't take me out. I know people that have lost more than that, like 50 to 100 in their first deal, and what does that do? Not only does it take you out financially, but it takes you out psychologically. So it's just a sad situation. So Bob Snyder said, I want to hire a PhD, I want to teach real estate education like the way we teach at University of Phoenix. Go find a vocation and learn going through University of Phoenix, online platform, and model it after major universities. 31 instructors and 64 classes I'm going to show you here in a minute. Okay? We have online and live education, and so most of it's done online. The live gets to happen here locally, as well as up in Phoenix, and then you can fly up to the mothership where all this is recorded, and every time they re-record a class, you have the opportunity to actually go and watch it live or have it streaming into your computer. So as classes get updated, I'll show you here in a second, you have a chance to do that. And the best before and after support is what Ray and the team and JC and Linda and Joseph are doing here, is putting together a office to work out of. That slide I showed you just before this. So here's what happened to me. I was into this about 18 years, 17, 18 years. And in that period of time, I didn't have a job. Did a lot of real estate, took a lot of time out. I had a really cool year and a half to help my father gracefully, pass away for cancer. And I took my time, and I had all the time in the world. I just not do real estate. I did it every Thursday and Friday. Dad drove around with me and we watched houses, and I went to auction on Friday and bought homes. And Thursdays, he went to his favorite restaurant, which is Burger King, You know, because they have the best prophecy, not every Thursday, but pretty much. Towards the end there, it was getting tough. But I got to spend time with them, and he'd be asleep, and I'd be knocking on doors and seeing houses, and then Friday I'd go to the auction. But you know, the Burger King thing was always kind of funny, sitting in there as a grown-up man with your dad wearing the Burger King hat,
I think
top
that's
fries.
fabulous.
But it's just what it goes. But I was lucky, you know, I talked about time and money, right? Yes, I see some people laughing. I was wearing the hat too because I couldn't.
Oh, I know. Where's that picture?
But I was never able to get over in a 12-month period more than 12 houses doing it on my own in 17, 18. I joined this company, Education, 2010, 11, and in my first 12 months after going through the education, I did 25 real estate transactions. 17 to 18 years, I never got over 8. Second year, 25, and the highest number that I've ever done with the group since then has been 42 deals in 1 year. And so what happens when they say that, and why I'm saying that, is they sought trained investors or practitioner instructors. So I was a student that came in doing 8 deals, got to go into as high as 42, and now when you go to myrenatus.com, you see my face on the website.
I love it.
They say I'm the face of Renatus. And this guy here, well, he's not there on that picture, Darren Davis, there he is. Darren says, you know what, my computer's slow, John. Every time I turn it on, I see your face for like a second, and then it's gone.
Yep.
Mine's there for a full 5 seconds, dude, in a full 5 seconds, because these faces go through. But I teach auctions. I buy houses at the courthouse step for cash. I went to a real estate seminar in 90-something, 91 or 2, to buy houses with no money. It's called Nothing Down. And at the end of the day, that's the kind of student I am. 100% cash at the courthouse steps. But I found my best discounts buying real estate when the banks were selling it and we couldn't negotiate the debt off. Like Ray was talking about, taking over the payments is one, discounting the bank is another one, negotiating off some of the debt, because a lot of these houses have more debt, like Ray said, than they're worth. And if you can't get that people to discount, losing their house to foreclosure. And when that happens, some of that debt gets wiped off top. Because the first loan in line, I'm going real estate on here, has priority, and the second loan gets wiped out. And so what I did is bought the first loan, and then the second loan goes bye-bye. Now, if you bought the second loan, you're responsible for the first. Just make sure you know that, because I did that once, and that's $20,000 that I lost, is because I didn't realize I was buying a second mortgage. I bought a $66,000 mortgage on a $128,000 house with another $66,000 mortgage ahead of me. What are the chances of that? I thought, that's just a duplication. It's a mistake. No, it was 2 mortgages for $122,000 on $128,000 purchase. Wise move, dude. Sad part is, real estate went up 17% that year in Monroe, Washington, and I sold it for like $135,000. Put 20 grand into it, lost my money. Well, 17% on $125,000. You tell me how much that would be at the end of the year. If I had just held that house for a year and a half or 2, I would at least broke even. Maybe I would have been JC and Linda. I'd make some cash flow per month, and at the end, I'd have a little check left over. So I should have kept a few of the homes along the way. That's just
Shoulda,
one of
coulda,
them.
woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Anyway, we're not
Don't know
got
what
me
you're
from
doing.
8 deals to 25, and now the owner of the company's come out to my house. This is a 7,000 square foot live-in, fix and flip in the Biltmore area. I live in Mesa, but I moved here, so we now live in Phoenix. Pam and her whole family live out, Santan, Queen Creek on that side of town. But we found this one from Ron Bishop, a guy, really cool dude, and he had a hard time selling it. And someone wholesaled it to us. A guy named Charles Matthews in Scottsdale had this under contract, was bringing it around to some of the people. And we looked at it one day and said, no, that's just too big of a project. We fixed and flipped homes. And then we woke up a couple days later, I said, Pam, and she says, John, what do you think? And I go, I don't know, what are you thinking? That house. We both said, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yes, I think so. What if we lived in it for 2 years? Fixed it up, lived. This is the 4th floor. That's 88 steps from here to there. It's 44 from here to the whatever. I got stuck in an elevator, couldn't make it up. I now own a house with a, well, that's my wife, a stinking elevator with a bomb shelter shaft going over there. And I have a tennis court. You'll see the rest of it. But Bob Steiner said, you know, we have success stories around the country, John, of people doing all these deals, and we want this to be one of your deals.
And Bob wanted to see it.
And Bob wanted to see the inside. His whole company said, I want to see the inside of McCan's home.
Yeah.
I have a goal of making $500,000 on a house and not paying tax. The most I've ever made is $325. My average is 32, right? So the $325 kind of throws it off. because I haven't really counted the homes that I've lived in as my own residence in that, those are my fix and flip homes. But the Bex extra, know it or not, if you're a single person and you lived in a house for 2 years or more, and you sold it for more than what it's worth, the tax is zero over and above what you paid for it, up to $250,000 worth of gain. Okay? If you're married and you live there for 2 years, that's $500,000. I've sold 3 principal residences. I've made 175, 325, and 35. Pam sold and she's made another one. I just know, I can't remember her number, was like 30 grand on hers. I sold it for $500,000. We bought this to fix and flip and move into and turn into a $500,000 taxable, non-taxable gain. And if we end up selling it and make $650,000, I'll pay tax on the $150,000 over above the $500,000. But this is our house, and you know these are things that I call opportunities, or you know, I'm certain we're going to make bank on it. And the Squaw Peak, yeah, Squaw Peak's up here. Camelback's over the other way, but that's a tennis court. That's Pam coming down to the pool. You can show you that picture. You can tell. Can you tell? Show it twice. There's the pool. That's where we were standing with Bob. Okay, Pam, we only showed it 3 times.
We won't tell her.
But look at the view we get from there, and we're just living there, loving it. With the storms went by, you guys had like a monsoon went through here yesterday. We got just barely missed. So far in 2 years, we have not had a storm hit when we've been home, or we could watch it from the 4th floor. We went home 2 nights ago, thinking one of them was coming by, and it went by and didn't get to our house. But anyway, so that's what's cool. And so here's what our vacation looks like. You saw it to begin with, and we'll wrap up here in just a few minutes. That's where the girl, Pam, and her team is right now, is getting people started. Okay? Real estate and wealth management. You guys can take pictures of any of these, and the person that got here to explain it to you, the website myronautis.com has all this information on it. I could go through this all day long too, right? But I wanted to teach you, did I teach you some insightful things on maybe where we're at compared to where we could be? Some things to think about? Okay, so what we do with our classes, so that's the basics, that's the foundation, okay? We put them into core classes as you see coming up, and then we have a strategy attached to each one of them, and then we feel there's some classes like negotiations, escrow, different things that can be a bonus class that can add to that strategy. This is what it looks like. Business management. We teach more than just real estate investing, because you're going into business as an entrepreneur. And if I learned some of this stuff, I know I would have not lost money, would have saved more money, would have ended up understanding a lot more than I did. I just went out and did real estate. I just wanted to find equity. I wanted to leverage it with someone else's money, like these guys do $10 and none of your own money, and make my 30 grand. Initially, when I started, it was 40 grand a house. Okay, and my average is 32. So business management is one of them. The core classes, the strategic classes. Okay. Wholesaling, lease options, and auctions. So this is my class right here. This is Darren's right there. But you learn how to wholesale and understand market analysis, so you understand what a house is really worth. Nowadays, it's gotten confusing because of the vacation rentals. I'm looking at homes and the ROI, the return on investment that can come off of it in a whole different way. Okay? Because of that, more houses are qualifying to put in our portfolio on hold. Okay, and then there's some classes. Lease options is one of the rent to own. This little suite of classes here would be like a major in college. Okay, they need to understand money. You're going to watch throughout all these classes, even go back to this one. Raising money, understanding credit, banking. Banking is all around. Look at that. Almost half the classes in business management are banking. Here, money classes. It's all about it. Okay. You need to learn how to negotiate. Understand how to write a contract. You need to know how to close things. I had no clue what closing was, what escrow was. I mean, I did know what escrow was because they told me, but when I got a deal on a contract, I was clueless. I had to find a real estate agent tell me, like, can you, where do I go? Who do I put in this? What part of the contract do I put this in? To write contracts and practice writing contracts, so I know how long I was asking for my closing date, who the buyers and the sellers were on the deal, who the escrow agent was, what my deposit was. There was a lot of things that just didn't add up. In real estate school, the education that you get, we don't get trained this kind of stuff. Some of this is boring, I'll admit, but you gotta learn it. Eventually you learn it, and then you have somebody else delegated to do it. Okay, like a real estate agent or someone like that. Okay, fix and flip. And I'm just gonna rip through these guys because I want to have you see all the different options and how you can put these together And we feel it fixes, but one of the things these days is land development. Understanding how to taking raw land, I know that you're down in Montana, it's got some land outside of the area that could be good for a farm. Okay, not your traditional type of farm. There's new farming that goes on these days with medicinal things. It's become very prolific. Okay, it's legal, it's medicinal, and some of it even recreationally legal, right? But you know what? The higher and better use of property these days isn't what it used to be. We're not just picking meat and potatoes, you know, cows and potatoes and corn on these things. Some of these pieces of ground, some of these houses can have a higher return and a higher usage, big time. And medicinal, you know, crops that are out there these days are one of them, just one of them. Okay? If you can remember where your car keys are, remember how to get back home after you've had somewhere
Higher usage. Get
Buy
it?
it all.
Higher
This is the
usage.
rental. This is what JC and Linda did. They kind of combined some of these strategies. And here we are with nightly rentals. We're getting started on nightly rentals, learning how to do it, how to inspect your home. Ray talked about subject 2, learning how to buy homes, taking over somebody else's financing. And one of the big seminar trainers in the country, his name is Ron LeGrand. Buy his stuff if you want, but it's outdated, way outdated. But he has said that the best financing in real estate known of any kind right now is the existing financing on a home right now. If you can learn how to leave the mortgage in place, it used to be called an assumable, where you can assume someone. It's not, there's not that too many loans that are easily assumable, because you have to qualify to assume it. But now you can legally and ethically take over someone's mortgage, give them some walking money. They're fallen angels, in my opinion. Something's happened in their world, their life, medically, their relationships, and they just, the house they don't want. And if I have to go real estate on you, I'll just tell you this, one of the reasons that attracted me most to real estate was this. People will walk away with $40,000 to $50,000 worth of equity in a home and not even worry about it, because it's the paper side, it's not the income, right? They can't make the bills, they're going upside down, and over here, my $250,000 house that I owe $200 on, well, I don't have to fix it up, honey, and market it and pay the realtor, I'm not gonna have $50,000 with equity, right? They'll walk away from it. But have someone try to give you like $50 or $100. Just give it to you. And now you're making your friends something to give you $50 or $100. Well, that's great. But people will walk away from $50,000. That's one of the things that appealed to me so much about real estate. Is like, I want to play in a game where I'm working with the highest return asset that people have. The biggest, the most valuable asset I think we all own, you know, from an asset standpoint, is probably the house that we live in. Until we learn how to do rentals and investments. That's what we're doing here. We're taking people that are fallen angels and saying, hey, let's right the ship. We'll make your payments. We'll take over the house. We'll fix it up. We'll sell it. Just give us some time. Now we can rent to own it. We can lease option. We can vacation rental it. We talked about earlier. High efficiency. Control that asset. Let them walk. Fix their credit because you're making their payments. Give them some money. Give them some grace. And off you go. Okay? There's just so many. It's crazy. Multifamily. It all seems to go like the Monopoly game. Little greenhouses to red apartments, or it's the other way around. Red houses to greenhouses to red apartments. Who's played Monopoly, right? I'm colorblind, so I don't know what color.
We play every weekend.
Yeah, so we all want to go from one house to multifamily. No tenants, no toilets, no termites. That's seller financing, buying tax liens, buying tax deeds, buying people's properties that are they're losing it somehow, some way. In certain parts of the country, we can buy homes for their taxes, and it's just crazy what you can actually do. So this is buying the paper, buying notes. A lot of people don't want to deal with making a home, so they just want to find an investor. So how do you do this? You find someone that wants to go ahead and make a return on their money, doesn't have a lot of time to put into real estate, but you can find these contracts and these banks that are selling off these assets. So you go buy a non-performing mortgage, someone that's losing it, and say, hey, listen, we'll take over your debt. You put some money on the debt, that person makes their rate of return, you control the asset, and then you try to help that person get out of debt, figure out the situation. Or you buy the house for the tax value. We teach you how to do that. Short sales foreclosures, that's my specialty, even though my class is in it. I knock on thousands of doors. Bought hundreds of homes, because I went up to, bold enough to go up and say, hey, I'm here about the house. What about the house? Well, I hear it's in foreclosure. I hear the people are selling it. Well, I don't know. So, you know, it's either a tenant person or an owner that's in there. They're either hostile or friendly. There's 4 categories. I want to find out, you know, if you're hostile, then I need to know when I buy your house at the auction or something. When I come come back? You know, am I packing a gun? I mean, am I bringing you a beer or am I bringing you a soda? What am I coming back here with? You know who I'm dealing with. You know, I'm for real, guys. That's what happens. But foreclosures and short sales, yeah, I'm big. When I knock on the door, I knock and I back up. If I'm too close to the door, I'll scare you. Joseph Lee will scare you more. Either one of us falls on you, you're in trouble. Full spectrum, guys. Full spectrum of education and information. And lead somewhere. You don't want to just do houses if you want to end up owning a small building like this or apartment building. It goes and lead somewhere. Maybe the investor that's around you says, you know what, I want to tighten this up. Is it enough already, or do we just keep going, right?
Yeah.
You need to learn how to retire in real estate. We're not only just about real estate investing, we're about managing our wealth, trading it, and then what do we do? I'll tell you, a guy was in our class 3 weeks ago in what we call wealth acceleration. We're just going through some new classes. Pam and I are facilitating it. He's sitting next to his mom, a contractor. Her name is Pam, and I forget his name now, Brandon, I think, Braden. And Braden said, I'm going around introducing everybody else. So what have you done? What have you done? And Braden said, well, I flipped 50 houses with mom. And I'm in this class because I don't have anything to show flipping 50 houses. I've gone through all my money. I'm happy. I probably have a nice car, but I have nothing to show for it. We want to make sure that none of the chips, or not all the chips, fall through our fingers. And so retiring in real estate, some of the classes that are there for you. Wealth acceleration, this is what we're going through right now. Pam and I are in this class. One of the things that's really cool is understanding who you are as an investor. What's your identification? What kind of buyer are you? What kind of seller are you? What kind of market are you in? What it ended up teaching me is who we really are from someone that's losing. Is that the person I'm serving? Or is the person I'm really serving the person that I'm selling the home to? So my model works because it's really who I'm serving is the person that I know is going to pay enough money to have me buy it from you for that amount, so I can make my cash flow, can make my quick cash. So yeah, I'm helping you and serving you. My model over here to this person I know will pay $1,800 a month, and I can take over your mortgage here for $1,200 a month. Yeah, I'm serving them, give me some money, but that's my business. But pay attention. Find enough of these people right here. Now I know what I'm looking for. I want you to dial it. Short-term rentals, here we go. This just came out with our group. That's the short-term suite. That's the major. You want to become a specialist and get a graduate and a doctorate in short-term rentals? We've got it. Okay? Now you get started. We'll show you. This is the breakdown of the classes and the investment. Where the and Pam is right now is in the essentials. Okay? It's 10 full classes. Streaming live. I mean, they're in your office. We'll show you in a minute. You get group coaching every week. It's on Tuesday nights. You get 12 months redemption period, but it does go to lifetime access, and you can add a lifetime a learning partner. So you for 2 people is what comes in. And it's all 12 months. As long as you're in good standing with the company, we allow the education just to roll. So it's right here, 12-month redemption, complimentary granted, what happens. So these are the buying and investment options you have. Or you can pick 2 of what I just showed you. Those learning paths we just went through. It's all live education that's recorded online, streaming to us. And you get the coaching, it's downloaded. So this one is, as you get a learning partner as well. This is for people that said, you know what, I just want to get into here to do that. Most of those people will upgrade to all of your education because their path leads them somewhere else. But these are your buying and investment options. Or you can combine this, and we suggest everybody does, with that and pay $799.90. Or if you say, you know what, I just want to buy all the advanced stuff, I don't want the foundations, I know what I'm doing. Unfortunately, we need to retrain some people. We want you to actually look at it. You do that. Or you can buy everything that this company has, the Renatus. That's it. If you can learn to go out and find 20 grand, what do you think your chances can learn this stuff? What do you think your chances are to go out and make hundreds of thousands of dollars doing real estate? What does major college cost these days? I don't even want to tell you the numbers. It's just silly. Do they teach you how to make money?
No.
Or do they teach you about something?
They only teach you about
which is great. I wish I would have gone to college. Fortunately, I did. We teach you how to become a real estate investor. We don't just teach you how about real estate. We teach you how to become this. Okay. And so the buying opportunities look more like this. I will move quickly. We want and recommend that everybody has the essentials, but most people package it together with one of this. It's called a combination, and this is how it looks. You can buy the essentials. We know a little phrase around here goes for some people. You know what? 20 grand's a lot. Go in stages. get in where you fit in financially right now, maybe that's where it's at. That's cool. We just want you to be part of this group. We want you to want us, we want you, we want to get more property, more. The other option we see happen quite commonly is they combine that with 2 of the paths, and you have 11 classes, and then this is the most popular one. They say about 52% of the people, it's kind of a number that's been floating around, I don't know the exact number, but over half the people buy, see this, they buy everything that Renatus has. And if they don't buy it in the first year, but within 12 months, people usually upgrade from here to there to that. So that's how that works. And this is lifetime access, and there's a lot of little things. I'll just let you guys go through that with, you know, information that you get. So, complimentary lifetime access explained again is like that. I'll let you read it. We've been up here since 2011. We keep adding classes. When I started, there was 27 classes and 17 instructors. Right now, there's 63 or 4 classes. We can't even keep up. There's 2 being recorded, one today and one tomorrow, and there's 31 instructors. I haven't paid more for. Okay? Just staying the same. So that's what complimentary is. You keep going. Okay. I want to show you this, and then I'm going to kick it over to Ray. I saw this chart, as well as my buddy Zach, and it's dated. It says 2019 here, and I don't have the one that says 2005. But in 2005, there was a chart for this, and it blew me away. I could not believe it. And what it's saying is this: if you want $10,000 a month to come in for the next 20 years, your net worth needs to be. Someone read that number. What's that number?
3,464,864.
So $3.4 million. So for 20 years, if you decide I want to stop today, I have to have $3.4 million to kick off 10 grand. Where's my little pointer? There we go. Come on. Okay. So we talked about certainty, where most people are, 95% of the people in America, and opportunity. Where do you think we are? Are most people there?
No.
When I looked at this chart, the first time I was in a room, I looked at all the numbers. There were some pretty cool numbers here. And I looked around the room, I looked at myself, and I said, you know what, on average, I think most people in this room don't even have that number saved up in the equity of their home or investment. And so what we're saying here is this, folks. If we want to live a lifestyle, how are we doing? We have our income and expenses. We have our balance sheet, our net worth. Are you every year worth more on your balance sheet than you were the year before? Are you reducing your expenses down that are really truly expenses? Are you deducting those off your taxes and saving 32% of your money so that you can go for more assets to build up your asset column? Something to think about. You know, blew me away. And not much else I can say to you guys. That right there, that's not a goal to shoot for. I mean, even if you wanted $3,000 a month to come in, we talked about cash flow that you didn't have to work for. You just got to get $200,000, right? Of course, you got a 5-year period. What if you want to live for 20 years? You need to be worth $1 million. You have $3,000 a month come in. Pretty impactful stuff. JC.
When you think about it, $3,000 a month, there's only 6 houses that are making you $500 a month.
Can you use a calculator for that, or you just do it?
No, that's just rough cowboy math.
Cowboy math?
Yeah.
Can you do that in the cold wind?
Probably not. It'd be a little distracting, I think.
So guys, what we want to ask you to do is this. Ray's going to come up here and just kind of close things out, talk about what's going on. If you would like to come back and check the group, events coming up. The main thing we want you to have come and do is learn from Joseph in Velocity Banking. Okay, understand, see what this group's about. We have tours and different things that we'll show you what's out here. If you're looking for a place to do business and learn how to make some money and get into this game, there's lots of them in town. Okay, we're just one of them. We think we're the best one. I suggest you go check everything out there as an opportunity. Maybe do some due diligence, check it out. I would. Then come back here and talk to us and see if you feel that this is your best shot. I think it's the best shot you have in this country to give wealth management, real estate investing, all put together with other people going in the same direction, rowing the boat. And let's just make a big, huge wave and create a ripple around the country Our goal is to create a millionaire entrepreneurs over the course of the next few years with this concept, and we're looking for local people that want to do it. Ray, turn it over to you, Ray.
Awesome, John. Thank you so much. All right, good job. Once again, fantastic.
You're in the boat, you know, you're rowing too, dude.
Row, row, row.
You're scary.
The weight loss program.
It is. That's it. Anybody want to lose some weight? It's called just work. Half days. Just work. Yeah. Right, Kevin? Doug quit his job so he could work half days with me, right?
You work from 6 in the morning till 6 at night.
At least 12. At least 12 actually. Okay, so what are you going to do next? Oh, so this is what we're doing here locally. We got workshops, we got study groups, we got webinars, we do property tours. We're working on getting all this already started. We're working next on figuring out the plan for fix and flip multifamily, no short sale or short-term rentals. So everybody grab your phone, take a picture of this, because Saturday you're in the office. Actually, John was saying it was 7:30. I thought it was 8.
It starts at 8.
And that's actually August 3rd.
So what time?
Yeah, the date is August 3rd.
What time are you going to be in
We'll
office?
be here around 7:30.
Around 7:30. Okay, so mainly the class is going to kick off at 8 o'clock. So this is a little bit different. This is actually where you get to test drive the classes. You actually, this only happens like twice a year, where you actually get the full-blown live class. Yes?
The gal who's teaching this has been with the company since the beginning. She and her husband have done over 800 deals, and we know her personally. And she is going to do it herself, and also talk about how women do it on it, which I was very impressed with, because she's going off and doing some great stuff. So we're very excited about that, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, this is going to be super exciting. So come and hang out. I mean, if you're not here, you'll probably be spending money somewhere.
And that's this Saturday, not
This
live
Saturday.
stream.
This Saturday. What did I put there? Oh, the wrong address. All right. Oh no, that's even worse.
We're real estate investors, Ray. That's what we are.
We do a lot of racing around here, don't we?
It's all good. It's all good.
Hey,
I only gave him 5 minutes. It's my fault.
He's been, rock and rolling.
7
yeah. So
7 a.m.
8, 3,
14 hours.
3.
And 7:30 would be fine, and we're bringing
Yeah,
snacks.
we'll probably be
everyone brings
here,
snacks,
we'll
yeah.
probably be here closer to 7:15, 7 o'clock.
Perfect. So between 7:30 and 8.
It's a live webinar, explain that too, it's a live, and we.
Live webinar. So we stream it in live.
Stream it
Bring
in.
some snacks and food.
We
Your
can ask
notebook.
any questions we want, it's great.
Ask questions. It's all direct live feed. Now that night, who has played Cash Flow? Who's heard of Cash Flow? So Cash Flow is a game. It's a board game, but it was designed by a very famous real estate investor. And it's where you can actually strategize practice in a game setting. So you can lose money there, so you don't go lose money in the real world. I did hundreds and hundreds of deals in Cash Flow before I ever did my first one.
And I have pictures of you when you first started. Yeah.
Can I get that?
Imagine,
And then, so that's gonna be at Starbucks.
It's over on the other side, we have two locations.
Is that spelled Valencia?
Yeah, it's not 10 a.m. the next day, it's 10
Balance.
p.m. that night.
It could be.
You never know.
Our games generally don't last that long.
Alright, who wants to volunteer to take
Generally.
over these updating slides? Kinda like push on this.
Delegation.
And now
It's power.
Sunday, yesterday,
Delegation.
on Sunday,
Yes.
one of the people who are on our team, she's having a barbecue during her 4 cash flow games live. I don't think she's here.
Yeah, get back with the person who brought you here and they can send you all the details. Make sure you get there. And then,
That's Sunday.
you're busy this weekend, going out of town, you can't make it, there's a wedding, just bring it here. Or,
Velocity Banking's on
next
the
Thursday,
8th, right?
if you wanna at least get the full effect and see what it is about velocity banking and walk away with something
And
that's
that's the
absolutely
8th.
life shattering. Next Thursday, the 8th. You good with that? And we have about 12 seats in there. Tonight, it was absolutely packed in there. So you want to make sure that you let the person know however you found this. Let them know. Let the ladies up front know that you want to reserve your spot for velocity banking because they go quick.
We're gonna have another one too. This month, we have 3. We've already had one, but on the 17th, Chris Wilson is going to be live broadcast.
Doing
He's gonna do, fix and flip, he's doing, what are his,
He's gonna be doing, how to make $1 million in wholesaling.
these options.
yeah, he
Is it this
really
week?
knows, he's
No,
right
in-
in Phoenix.
It's just,
And you're gonna learn a lot of information, and he is from the same time, 8 AM to 3
So the
PM.
whole point there, guys, is that what we're doing is showing you on several Saturdays for free, basically. Come in and just check out what we're doing and listen to the education that is being recorded live. It will end up getting in the back office in all those classes. And we have an opportunity to just, hey, you like what's going here? Just created it. You can really go out and do something with it. And we want to lay it out and show you what we're doing. I think that's enough information.
It is. Everybody, good night. Thank you for coming.
Thank you,
And
guys.
see you next week. Thank you, John.
back to sign up.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna have your own presentation.
Oh, it's because I don't have my. Yes.
So Ray, how do I?
Good night, y'all. Take care. Right.
I could do this up here.
Hey, yeah. What's your favorite part? Really?
Whether it is, folks, I mean, that's it. And if you want that time back, right? If you want the time back, if you want Chris Wilson, the leader who we were just talking about, Chris Wilson, is actually just messaged me. So what we want to do is we want to make sure, right, that you get the information you need to make the best decision for you, okay, and your business. Now, what I meant by Ray Kroc said it best. Remember, he was in a university and a student actually asked him, or actually Ray Kroc asked the student, what business am I in? And the student laughed, right? The student laughed and said, oh, I know what business you're in. Ray, you're in the burger business. And he said what I want you to remember right now, because it's not just for him, all right? He said, I'm not in the burger business. Ray Kroc, founder of McDonald's. I'm in the real estate business. And if you look at every McDonald's, it's placed in a very strategic location because his knowledge of real estate, right, is what made him the capital to build more McDonald's. So what we want to do is we want to ensure that you start business or continue business or grow your business, right, the best way possible. And so that's what we do, all right? Hey, Velocity Banking, business credit, webinars and team meetings such as these, real estate investor meetings, that's what we do, all right? And a lot of you, all right, one man actually, and there were a couple that have said, $50,000 just by listening to the YouTube presentation. So you can only imagine how much, right, will be built when you invest in yourself. Invest in yourself, all right? So God bless. Good night, and hit us up, biz credit at wiseguysandties.com. All right, we're here for you. God bless you and good night. Thanks, Magic, for your questions, man. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. All right, now take care, Dwayne. Yes, Jesus, Mike, and Joshua. All right.